So welcome guys. In addition to where I actually stopped, recall that I was able to draw now. So recall that I actually represent this identity as F1 and this one too. I represented it as what F2 according to what you see here. Let F1 represent this, let F2 represent this, and let F3 to make it more easier. Okay. Now since F1 is identity, matrix and this identity rather identity element, and F2 is 1 2, F3 is 2 3, F4 is 3 1. I believe you still remember how I got all these things. Okay, so now let's create a Cayley table of the group formed by this set of permutation. So to do that, you have to put your F1 up to F6, each of these elements on this row and on this column, such that by the time you create the Cayley table for it, that means you're trying to find the product of the permutations that we have. So the permutations of all these elements are to find the product. You have to just find the product. So F1 times F1 means identity times identity, you usually get an identity. Identity times any element will give you that element back according to that's very, very trivial. Okay. F2 times F1 will give us F2. F3 times F1 will also give us F3. So, but how did I so this means that all the values I have in this case, everything I have, all the elements I have here, remain fixed, and this one remain fixed according to the definition of if identity multiply any other element to give you that same element. So F1 times F2 will give us F2, F1 times F3 will give us F3. So all these are fixed. So the major thing now is to find all these things that are here. So how will you get this thing easily? So let me just make it, I'll try to explain that better. So let me just move to the next page. Now considering the next page that we have here, the only thing you have to do is I won't be able to write F1. I won't be able to write F1, F2. I'll just write it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the next in the next page. So if I take a pen now in this case, okay, so let me just write all the okay. We have to find the product, which is times, right? So coming. So let me just write out all this. One, I have two, three, 4, 5, 6. These are F. These are F of 1 up to 6. Okay, F1, F2, F3, F4, F5, and F6. And at the same time, I'll have 1, 2, F1. I have F2. I have F3. I have F4. I have F5, and I have F6. Now let's go ahead with the multiplication. With the multiplication of this, if we are actually dealing with multiplication in this case, right? Such that if I go ahead and multiply each of this, so this is the pattern I want to give you now. Like it's just as if you are playing Sudoku game. So let me explain this better. So here in this case, the first thing you have to take note is that you should have a diagonal identity in this case. And diagonal identity I'm talking about is you start from this one. Okay, so I don't want to use that pen. I don't want to make use of that pen. This one. First step is to write 1 in a diagonal form in 4 places. 1 1 1. Do you see that? And at the same time, the next thing for you to do is to write out 4. Start with this 4 that you have here. If this 1 multiply this 4, you usually have this 4 that you have here. So write 4 in diagonally. So that will be 4 4 4 in this case. So that's why I can write another 4 again. So now the next thing, I started with 4 abi. You have to come here also whereby you have 4 on this column. Come towards this column side. Put your 4 here, but you are not expected to write 4 again. You reduce that 4. After 4, in reduced format, that will be 3, and this one will be what? 2. Then after that, the next thing you have to do is to the next thing you have to do now is to start with 2. So if I pick 2 from this column here, so there's a way we have to do it. If you pick this 2 from this column, write 2 here, and at the same time, the pattern here is if you write 2 diagonally, you're expected to write 2 5 5. Take note. And if you pick this row, this 2 that is here, diagonally, I expect to write what? 6 6. Please take note. So the pattern for this diagonal form is 2 5 5. Then you should have 2 1. This one is now, the other one is 2 6 6. Here will now be what? 3 1. So you can go ahead and play your game. Okay, so in the next video I'll explain it better.